ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସ୍ କରିଥିଲେ ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟେସନ, delegation. Departmentation and delegation. These are two different terms. Delegation is the work assignment to the subordinate. Departmentation is the making groups of related work. After that, we talk about the cycle PDCA, how to plan work and again replan and work like this cycle. Plan to anything you do, you have to make a plan, then execute the plan, then you are checking whether you are going as per the plan, and you are acting. So this is a cycle you are going through again and again, the same steps, same process. Anything you do in the organization particularly, you have this cycle. Then we'll discuss one new concept today, centralization and decentralization. What do you mean by centralization and decentralization? We'll understand that. Centralization is the center of power. That means everything is controlled by the center. Decentralization is everything is delegated, everything is managed by different body, different group under the center. So we'll talk about a couple of examples, then we'll understand. Think about our country. There are different states. How many states? There are 27 and 28 states. Each state has different state government. State government is looking after the development, welfare, a lot of things. State government has power and decision-making authority to manage certain things. And central government also has the same thing to manage certain things. So central has distributed the power to different state government that you will do certain things. Center has told that you are all in all for something, some power, so you can execute your state's plan, state's strategy, state whatever you need, you know better, you can do whatever you want in the state level. Center has something big decision in its level. So that means it is decentralized. For a minute, you forget state government. For example, we don't have any state government. Center has everything. Center is deciding everything. How a state will run, what requires for a state. So center has to release the money. Center has to do everything. So that is centralization. That means all the power is under one body. One person want to keep all the center of powers, keep all the powers. That is center. This is one example, centralization and decentralization. From that, you will write advantages, disadvantages. But suppose in any company, any organization, there are different level of management. For example, there are top level of management. In top level management, who are coming? The board of directors, the managing director, all the owner of the business. And then the middle level manager. Middle level management, all the department head, sales manager, marketing manager, HR manager, like that. That is a middle level management. Then under them, there is a lower level management. In lower level management, whoever managing the people manager, foreman, supervisor, workers, all this mid-level management. If the top level management is managing everything and delegating the work in the low level management, middle level management, then that is called decentralization. So that means the power is delegated to the other department. A decentralized leadership structure is where decisions making is delegated by top level management to individual within the company. This allows more time for top level management to focus on the making larger decision. So the decision making is delegated to the different department, different heads. That is decentralization. In the in these two bullet, one bullet is written decision is this process. Decentralization is the process of shifting control from one main group to several smaller one. That means what example I was given central government and state government. So central government is giving responsibility to different smaller group, that is state government. The decentralization of government, for example, gives more power to the individual state rather than concentrating its federal level. That means whenever you hold the power, rather concentrating that, holding everything, all the power within you, you are delegating and decentralizing the power to different departments, different heads. That is known as decentralization. So at least you understood the meaning of centralization and decentralization. Centralization is, take another example in your school. Suppose there is one annual day, there is one welcome ceremony, or there is a fresher ceremony is going to be in your school. Your principal is looking after everything. So he distributed the power among different assistant teachers. Like suppose he has given charge to one teacher, English teacher for English department or English teacher for entire decoration, entire arrangement. And the mathematics department, mathematics teacher, he has given the food and refreshment. And the science department, he has given the cultural activity. So like that, he has distributed all the responsibility to different assistant teachers. So ultimately, he is the responsible person. He is going to answer everything. He is answerable. He is taking the ownership, but he has distributed the powers. That means he has decentralized the activity. If you don't do that, so one person has to manage everything. That is centralization. One person has to execute the complete activity. Whatever the power, whatever the decision one person has to take, that is centralization. So he wants to hold everything, that is centralization. So in this example, what you understood, when you are giving the power to different department, different heads, they are motivated, they will take the initiative, they want to do a better job. So a lot of advantages is there. For example, in organization, I was telling the top management, suppose the managing director or the CEO or the top executive are deciding how you are going to do in the finance, what tools you are using. Suppose you are using a version of Tally, you want to upgrade it to a new version. So if the decision is centralized, then the top manager will decide what is the Tally version we are going to use. If the decision is decentralized, if the management is decentralized, then the accounts manager or the accounts department is going to decide which version of the Tally is going to use. Suppose the accounts department decided the the manager or the account head who is going to decide which version of Tally is going to use. So he is more responsible, more powerful, and he definitely wants to prove his decision is correct. So that means they are motivated, they are more powerful, more entitlement will be there, and they will be getting more responsibility if they are given power. That is one advantages of decentralization. That means all the low level employee, all the middle management and low management and bottom management are getting responsibility, getting charge of doing the things. So they are more responsible. This is one example to understand decentralization. So you clearly understood the difference between centralization and decentralization. One keyword you remember, center of powers. When you keep holds of all the powers within you, that is centralization. If you are releasing the power to different people on different group, that is decentralization. So smaller groups are able to decide a lot of things. Just like I gave the example, which version of Tally you are going to use, the accounts department is going to say, not the managing director. Otherwise, what will happen? If the center is going to take decision, first thing will be delay in making decision. Whenever a small decision is required, you have to reach to the top level through different channel, top management, middle management. So you have to go through different level. Then that person has to decide. That decision has to come to the low level. So it's a time consuming matter whenever it is centralized. So the person who is going to decide for everything, every small thing, you have to reach to that person. Suppose someone is applying leave, someone is going early, so you have to ask the top management. So that is the main disadvantages. Advantages is advantages is there will be uniformity. One person is going to decide everything. Suppose our government case in center is if they are going to execute the plan in center level, so each state will have a uniform plan. Otherwise, what will happen? State government, Odisha government will do something, Bihar government will do something, Andhra government will do something. So each government will have their own plan differently. So there is no uniformity. This is one example of advantages and disadvantages. There is something, some points are written here. Advantages of decentralization. Reduce the burden of top executive facilities. Executive development. It improves, promotes motivation, better control and supervision. Disadvantages of decentralization. Uniform policies not followed. Problem of coordination. So it has a lot of advantages. Advantages means first thing is it reduces the burden of top executive. So when the responsibility, the authority is given to the bottom level to different departments, so the top executive has no way to break their head in different plans, different policies. They will have a different work, different priority work where they will spend time. So it will reduce the burden of the small work, day-to-day work. Facilitate the diversification. What is diversification? Executive development. So in diversification, there will be many, many people in the organization from different state, different sects, different religion. So if you have decentralization, so people are distributed and there are a lot of power given to the middleman. So they are getting a lot of responsibility, a lot of activities it facilitates it. So indirectly they are getting different power based on their group, their religion, their diversity. Executive development, when you have more responsibility, more authority, you will try to learn, you have to try to execute, you have to try to prove your plan better. So that is in that process you will learn more, you will motivate more. So always the person who is taking the decision is willing to do a better job in decentralization. It promotes motivation. It is same thing. So in decentralization, you are giving responsibility to bottom level. So they are motivated. They are doing a good job. They promote themselves, their decision. So others will be happy. Better control and supervision. So instead of doing everything by one person, one group, so once you distribute it, the control mechanism is better. So everyone is responsible for their own state, own region, own department. So that is the main objective. So people know what is the pain, what is the problem of their own department. Based on that, they will execute the plan. So that will help to control in a better way for each department. Disadvantages of decentralization. What is the disadvantages? So when you are doing decentralization, one thing I was telling, so no uniformity is maintained. So everyone is working on their own idea, own requirement. So every state, every department will have different plan, different executive planning differently for their own work. So there is no uniformity, problems of coordination. There are so many departments, so many states. So certain work they have to coordinate each other. So it's very difficult when you are coordinating between each department. So there will be a problem in intra-department activities, intra-department communication, that is coordination. In the below, there is a chart, there is a diagram which says the importance. It is same as advantages what you have given in the slide. What are the advantages of decentralization? What is the importance of this develop initiative among subordinate, develop managerial talent, quick decision making, lift to top level management, facilities growth, better control. So all these things are advantages of decentralization. So the person is taking initiative when they are giving more power, more activities. So they are taking initiative, develop managerial talent. So they want to grow individually, quick decision making. If the power is distributed among the team, so the decision making process will be quick. So otherwise, what will happen? The low level people, the supervisor, the people manager, they have to reach the middleman. Middleman has to reach the top manager, the managing director. This is what I was taking. I was talking the time consuming factor. So any decision, if it is centralized, then it has to go from bottom level to top level. So you have to ask what we have to do in that case. There will consume lot of time. But if it is decentralization, you have to make the decision, you have to take the decision quickly. That is quick decision making. You can, for example, if something we have to do in state of Bihar. So Bihar government has to take a decision. Otherwise, what will happen? Bihar will talk to center. Center will take time. It will be late. But if Bihar is deciding this is something required for the state, then decide and proceed. So these are the advantages of decentralization. Facilities growth, better control. So if in case of decentralization, so each department, each group is equally growing because you have distributed the powers into different groups, different departments. They are thinking their own. So the growth will be faster and the control will be better. So everyone is controlling their own department, own group. So the control will be better. In this diagram, you have an option of all the advantages of decentralization. So what you have given in the slide, advantages and disadvantages of decentralization. Then we'll also read the directing, because this is related to the same delegation, decentralization, what we read in last 2, 3 classes. Those are related to the concept of direction. We'll continue this, we'll read that in the next class. Direction, what are the different types of direction, how you direct. Then we'll have the communication and span of control. So we'll complete this course in 1 or 2 class. In next class, we'll understand the direction. Thank you.